So, I do read Down Goes Brown from time to time. He's got an interesting article up right now in Sportsnet. If I remember when I upload this, I will include it in the comments or in the description of the video. A link to his article. And I'm aware I'm still wearing my Oilers gear, and you guys are just gonna have to be okay with it. But fine, fine. All right, bippity boppity boo. I'm wearing my new Oil King jersey. So it's still Edmonton, so I can still wear an Oilers hat. It's Oil Kings. So he speculates on 5 teams that he thinks could potentially have a season along the same lines as what Colorado just had. And I figured, you know what? People have talked about who I think will get the number 1 draft pick this video. Why don't I combine the two? So, first off, Detroit fans are well aware and unhappy with me for my views on Detroit. And I just think it's just going to get worse before it gets better. Florida's going to have a hard time putting a team on the ice that can score goals, especially if Huberdeau gets hurt again. And while they've got Dale Talon back in the job of being GM, you have to wonder if owners are going to let him stay there, or if they have a rough start, are they going to start messing around with everything again? Buffalo, I don't put Buffalo in this category, and I'll say why. I think Buffalo's now at the middling part. I think they're not quite a team that I look at and say, okay, playoffs, but they're not a team that's bad enough that I say they're not going to make it. In the newest Hockey News Annual, they talk about Eichel leading the team in points, even though he only scored 60, or even though he was only in 61 games. And then they say the failed leadership of Ryan O'Reilly. I don't know what they're talking about. Ryan O'Reilly was a beast last year. The Jets, I can't see the Jets being able to fail like Colorado did. And the Islanders. And the Islanders are an obvious target. And Islanders fans, I'm going to tell you this right now. This is how it is. People view the Islanders as being a bad team, even though they had a very good finish to the season. They did not finish that far out of the playoffs. They were right in there with Tampa, and yet Tampa's seen as contender, and the Islanders are seen where they are. We could all be wrong, easily. Now, what's not included in the list is the teams that are expected to be bad by pretty much everybody. And I was surprised he didn't include Philly in this list. And, of course, Vegas, because they're an expansion team, you're not going to include them. So, just based on, I think, the probabilities, and that's why I've got all the 5 teams up here that are poor. If I had to go with a draft order based on where teams are right now and what I think they're going to do, of these 10 teams, and I'm not saying these are going to be the 10 worst teams in the league, I'm just saying the article talked about these 5 and admitted these 5 are probably going to be the worst. But based on that, I'm going to figure out where I think they're going to finish, and then you guys can let me know in the comment section below what you think. And which 5 teams do you think are middling and could perhaps have this huge blow-up season where everything just goes screwy for them? Number 10 on the list, I'm going to put Winnipeg. And number 9, I'm going to put the Islanders, because I think both of them are capable of making the playoffs. I think the Jets are a little bit better than the Islanders, but it's splitting hairs. It really is. I know people in the comment section will be, oh, I can't believe you say the Jets are better than the Islanders. Whatever. Number 8, Buffalo. And remember, you don't want to be number 1 on this list. I think Buffalo's going to get better. If Nylander's ready this year, and I think he needs one more year in the A, but if he's ready now for the National League, this could be an understatement. Number 7 is tough. That's really tough. Yeah, that's really tough, isn't it? I'll begrudgingly go with Florida, because I think Florida is going to be a non-playoff team, but I do think they're going to be better than some of the teams that they were better than last year. Number 6, I think New Jersey is capable of pulling up. I'm honestly kind of surprised they're just saying, if a team's expected to be below 70 points this year, we're not going to talk about them. And these are the 4 that are expected to be below 70 points. News to me. The only teams I expect to be below 70 points are Vancouver, Colorado, and Vegas. And Colorado is capable of getting back to 75, 80 points. Vancouver's capable of getting back. And Vegas is an expansion team. You never know what you're going to get. Number 5, I honestly think Arizona is going to be better than people think. I mean, they're not in. I don't think they're in the playoff mix yet, but I think they're going to be better than people think. So I would think number 5 on that list. And keep in mind, this is a lottery. So if all these teams are in the lottery, Florida could easily win it. And I like that. Even though I'm a Canuck fan, that's twice in a row now watched the Canucks get hosed in the expansion in the draft lottery. I like this system a lot. I think this system's good because if you miss the playoffs, it means your team needs some improvements, and you have a chance at a major improvement. I have no problem with that system. Leave your hate in the comment section below. Number 4, I'll say Detroit. Because I don't think Detroit is the worst team in the league. Number 3, yeah, go ahead and launch all of your hate at me. I think Vegas. Is Vegas showing up there? It is. I honestly think Vegas is going to be decent. I think Vegas could have been a lot better if George McPhee had been a little more ruthless with it and a little less friendly with the other GMs. But he did what he did. We'll see if he's right or if he's wrong in a couple of months. It'll start to unravel, or it'll look really good for him. And number 2, I'll say Colorado gets better, and I'll say the Vancouver Canucks are on their way to a number 1 draft pick, which means it'll be number 4 because 3 teams will beat them in the draft lottery. Draft lottery is won by Detroit, which brings out all the conspiracy theorists that, Holland paid the NHL off and the NHL can't have the wings down at the bottom, and they get Svechnikov and now they're going to be a great team and blah, 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 blah. The number 2 goes to somehow the Arizona Coyotes get second. Colorado pulls 3rd. Vancouver pulls 4th. And Canuck fans can all cry about not getting Dahlin. Dahlin could end up going here. Dahlin could end up going here. And at that point, Canuck fans are very upset with themselves. Yeah, so let me know what you think's going to happen. So I not only predicted who I think's going to finish at the bottom of the league, but I predicted how I think that the draft lottery is going to turn out. Detroit number 1, Arizona number 2, Colorado number 3, Vancouver number 4. Let me know your picks. And again, this is because that's just how I'm used to it going now. That the Canucks just don't get picked in a draft lottery. It's just the way it works. No hate, no anything intended by this, no anger. It's just how it is. Let me know who you think is going to be potentially as bad as Colorado was last year. So this is the question of who can implode like Colorado. Vancouver. If the Sedins show signs that they've lost another step, and if they're in the 40-point range at the end of this year, and if Louis Eriksson doesn't bounce back, and if both Markstrom and Nilsson struggle in Vancouver under the weight of the expectations and maybe being asked to do too much as goaltenders, this team could threaten the points totals that Colorado put up last year. Absolutely. Because scoring could be an issue, and if goaltending becomes an issue, well, scoring is going to be an issue. If goaltending becomes an issue as well, this team could get 50 points this coming season. But we'll see. That's the wonder of the summer. Anything can happen. Let me know who you think's going to end up being that number 1 draft pick destination for this season. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. And thank you so much for watching. I'll talk to you again soon.